This is the Reporter's Notebook, hosted by Elaine Shane.
Welcome to this entry in the DTN Reporter's Notebook. DTN Senior Ag Meteorologist Bryce Anderson joined us today as we look at the outlook for winter weather. Bryce, there's been a lot of talk about El Niño. Now, how big of a part does that play in the winter forecast?
Well, Elaine, it plays a major role in defining how the patterns are looking for this winter season of 2014 and 15. The Pacific Ocean temperatures have warmed to the extent that they have reached El Niño levels, so the above average sea surface temperatures are in place. We have also started to see the barometer pressure indicators over the Pacific assume a more El Niño type stance. And so what that means is that the increase in subtropical jet stream flow across the continental U.S., along with the displacement, and this is a key feature, displacement of the polar jet stream farther to the north and east into the eastern half of Canada and away from the northern tier of states here in the U.S. is another big feature as we think about the winter season.
So what are going to be the general trends that we'll see for the winter?
Well, with El Niño in place, we are looking for above average precipitation in the southern plains, along with below normal temperatures in that part of the country. So this is the southern plains through the Delta and into the southeastern U.S. Also in the Midwest, probably below average precipitation, fairly decent temperatures, northern plains above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation, and then a key feature that may be important, and that is possibly above average precipitation in the far west, where they've had that historic drought going on in the Great Basin and in California. So those are some of the real highlights in terms of North America.
Now, they really need that precipitation out on the west coast there.
They certainly do. California continues with the historic drought. The precipitation in many respects has been below average for now going on almost 3.5 years.
Now, with some of those other features, what are going to be the problem areas from this?
I think one thing to think about is that in feedlot country of the southwestern plains, in Kansas, the Oklahoma and Texas panhandle areas, above average precipitation and below average temperatures during the winter mean that it could be a little bit cold and nasty, and it could hurt feedlot performance in terms of feed conversion for livestock. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Also, there possibly could be some, depending on how heavy moisture events are, we could see some winter-type flooding in parts of the southwest with this kind of a pattern that El Niño can bring in. El Niño is by no means a benign feature. And then internationally, we are watching very closely what's going on in Australia's wheat areas because El Niño is a drought maker in Australia. That also extends into the oilseed areas of Indonesia and the Philippines, and so that makes a difference then in terms of palm oil production. So there are some international effects from El Niño as well. One more note is that in South America, there is a high correlation with El Niño and above average rainfall in southern Brazil and Argentina, so that could be good for Argentina moisture there.
We'll definitely be keeping an eye on all those areas.
Definitely, yeah. It's an important thing, and it's something that has been looked at. In our view, El Niño is here, and it does appear that it's going to be a weak to moderate event.
Thanks, Bryce. With Bryce Anderson, I'm Elaine Shane, and that's today's entry in the DTN Reporter's Notebook. Thanks for joining us.
This has been the Reporter's Notebook from the DTN Progressive Farmer Newsroom.